Good morning, YouTube. Hopefully you're all good and doing well. Let's start the video after the initial introduction with a monster review. The sound wasn't the best, but I did like the amount of like crack to it. Oh, it just smells gorgeous. I mean, they literally taste the same every single time, but wowza. That's all I can say. It's simply remarkable. I remember when I first ever had one of those, I worked at Iceland, and I was just there like, this is rank. Like, I preferred the full sugar one, and now having the thought of having a full sugar one is disgusting. But anyway, gone off topic. Welcome to episode 5 of the Bulking Diaries, where today I'm going to take you to the gym, do a couple workouts, take you to the posing room to show you how things are actually looking, and then at the end of the day I'll also take you through some food, and I'm also going to take you through my Google Sheet, because I'm actually, as of today, I'm 2 months into the bulk. This is what I look like at the very start of the bulk. And at the end of the video, I'll show you, if I remember, I'll show you the comparison directly of what it looks like and talk you through all of that. But I'm not going to waffle on too much. I want to make these videos a little bit more concise. So I'm going to go to the gym, and when I'm at the gym, I'm going to talk you through a couple of exercises. And then again, I'll show you in the posing room how everything is looking. Right, so I have arrived at the gym. I don't know how well you can hear this. Hopefully you can hear it all right. But today is actually a pull day. And on a pull day, I always start with calves as my first exercise. Now, obviously, normally you do calves on like a leg day typically, but I find if I do calves on a leg day, it just makes the day far too long. And I do them first on this session due to the fact that I fucking hate doing calves. But there's something that like I need to work on, because back in the day, they were so tiny. I'll try and find a picture of what they used to look like when I was younger. But yeah, I do them first because if I do them last, I'm not really going to put much effort into them. So I do them first just before I actually get on with my back and my triceps. But I've warmed up already, so this is my first working set. So with this, I'm actually trying to pause a little bit down at the bottom where my calves are nice and stretched, nice and powerfully up, and coming back down. So, I've still got 3 sets left, which is why I think it's got to go too hard on that set. But, what was I going to say? Oh fuck, I can't remember. So I've done my first set, and this is my second set, where I've gone like 20 kilos heavier, still focusing on the same execution. With calves, they're the only things that I do 4 sets of. Everything else I'll do like 3 or 2 sets of. But with calves, because I only hit them twice a week, I just do 4 sets to try and like really exhaust them when I do actually do them, as there's something that I hit with like the least amount of frequency basically. Right, so I'm now on to my second set of dumbbell rows. Today was the first time I've ever dumbbell rowed 50 kilograms, so I've been working up to that. I remember when I was like 16 and I sort of like started going to the gym properly, I tried to pick a 50 off the dumbbell rack before just to see how heavy it was. And I thought, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to lift that. And I mean, like, it has taken 7 years, but I just got it for 7 reps. But anyway, I'm now on to dumbbell rows. I was planning on showing you a pull down instead, but it's really busy, so I'm going to show you this. With this, everyone performs them a little bit differently, depending on sort of like how you feel comfortable. Like, some people will perform on the bench. I prefer to be off of the bench, use the bench to sort of support myself, but I have my feet together, as you're going to see very shortly. And what I'm focusing on with this is I'm focusing on allowing my shoulders to protract, so to roll forwards, and then I'm actively trying to drive my elbow back like so, and like pull my elbow up to the side and come back down nice and controlled, sort of resisting on the way down. So I'm trying to be nice and powerful on the way up and nice and controlled on the way down. But the reason I set up like this is purely due to the fact that I find it the most stable, so I can produce sort of like the most force.
I could get more, but I've still got another row to do, and I've got pull downs to do as well. I'll go onto my other arm, I give myself like a little bit of a rest before going onto it. But with your back, I find, I just go like this. I find with your back, most people think of it like the wrong way. So with your chest, the main thing that you want to sort of emphasize is when you're coming down, you want to get like a nice big stretch on your chest under load. So that's what you want to focus on with your chest. Whereas with your back, of course you want to come like all the way down, all the way up, even if that's like pulling like that or pulling like that. But the thing is, your muscles are under the most tension when they're actually at their most stretch. So for example, with the row, it's when it's like at the bottom. When you're doing like a pull down, it's when you're sort of like stretching up towards the top. So if you're really looking to get like the most amount of muscle growth you possibly can, one thing that would be useful is once you can't get the weight all the way sort of like up, or you can't pull it all the way down like that, is to sort of do half reps like towards the top end of the movement. So like with this row, I would just be coming like sort of like halfway up and then back down. I don't really like to do that because I prefer to do full reps, but it's always something that you can do. Right, session's all done and we are now in the posing room. So we'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look. I didn't film triceps due to the fact that I thought I'd been waffling on for a little bit. But as you can see just from my front, I'll go to where lighting is a little bit better. Can you see me if I am? This is hard. As you can see from my front, I am definitely, if you've watched like the last couple of videos, I'm definitely gaining fat. Now my body weight isn't actually moving too much. Right now, like this morning, I was 76.9 kilos, but it is sort of like slowly going up. It's just is being really slow, but I would sort of rather that because I'm trying to sort of be as productive as possible. I've increased my food a little bit, but as you can see, like, especially with my lower back as well, that's sort of the main area that I'm looking at. So I know here, I'm definitely gaining fat. As you can probably see, like you can see that I'm sort of starting to get love handles. So I know that the calories that I'm on, despite my weight not going up sort of like a ton, I'm definitely in a surplus. Now what I could do is increase my calories further, and then just gain more fat quicker. But that's not really what I'm after. I'm after trying to be as productive as possible. One thing that I also wanted to mention, as I've mentioned previously, so like with a bulk, you really just have to trust the process. There's much less immediate feedback with a bulk. Obviously, when you're cutting and you're losing weight, you can just see like, right, have I lost weight? Yes, make changes. Whereas with a bulk, it is a case that it is a more long-winded process because you're not going to gain muscle like really, really quickly. It's a case of doing things for like a couple of weeks, seeing how you get on, then making changes as you need to. But now that I've said that, I will see you at home. Fucking come on. Fuck's sake, 4 grams. Hello, I am back home and the audio is going to be different because I'm not using the microphone, but I have got 2 chocolate spread crumpets and also a big old bowl of Cocoa Pops. This is literally going to be chocolate overload. I've also got a chocolate protein shake to have as well. I'm basically just trying to get like carbs and protein in after my session pretty much as quick as possible. I actually found that I would normally have this prior to working out, but I worked out a tiny bit earlier than normal. Didn't really fancy it. And I found that I was actually hungry throughout my session, which was sort of putting me off my session a bit. Like I was just thinking about being hungry, so I wasn't 100% in the mood. But either way, it was still a good session. Also, I keep forgetting things that I'm meant to say, but I should have edited it so that you can see that when I put the chocolate spread on this, I don't weigh it out, and I don't do that. I don't know what that is. I think that's toothpaste. Actually, it wouldn't be toothpaste. I don't know what that is. Please just ignore that. But I don't weigh out spreads. Now, it's the only thing I think I don't weigh. And I know that this might sound stupid, but it's just because I don't want to be like too obsessive, right? Like I think that food tracking is absolutely fine, but I don't want to get to a point that I'm scared to eat something because I don't weigh it out. So I think like, even though obviously it can mean that you're having a few more calories or a few less calories than you think you are, I don't like tracking spreads. That's the only thing that I don't really track. I also don't track like veg and stuff like that just because there's not really that many calories. But I just wanted to mention that. And yeah, see you again
shortly. So, as with the last bulking update that I did, or maybe the one before that, I'm going to show you my Google Sheet with everything that I have been up to in detail. So as you can see, I have been tracking like everything for the last couple of weeks. I was actually away this week, so I didn't track. I just had a little bit of like time off. I also used it as a deload within here. But from the very start of the bulk, I was at 76.1 kilos. And now this morning, if we go to down here, I'm 76.95. Now, the general trend has been that my weight has sort of like slowly increased, and now it's like firmly at the top end of 76s. It was like that a few weeks ago, but as I was mentioning in the posing room, I'm not necessarily chasing sort of like weight gain. I've done that previously, and it just led to me getting quite fat quite quickly, as I will show you here. What I'm trying to do this time is really just try and eke out as much like progress as possible from each amount of calories that I'm on, and then make changes as appropriate. Now, one mistake that I made the other day, and it's something that I would advise against. So as you can see, like I track all of my food here, but you can see, I don't use this for clients, by the way. This is just for myself. But as you can see here, on Friday, I had 3,500 calories. And then for the next couple of days, my eating was just all messed up because I just could not, like I overate on that day, and it just really ruined my appetite for the next couple of days. So I would highly recommend against doing that. But as you can see here, I log all of my training sessions and everything like that, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm increasing volume over time. This last week, my sleep was horrendous, so even though I ate quite well, I just wasn't really recovering between sessions. But this week so far has been much better, which is always good. But as I was mentioning, like at the moment, I'm happy with how things are going. I'm seeing that I'm getting less lean, so I'm not paying too much attention to the scales. Like I'm not too sort of like stressed about it. I do want to see it come up a little bit more over time. But what I've done is increased my daily calories. So my daily calories are now 3,100. So I'm focusing on sticking to that for this next week, next couple of weeks, seeing how body weight changes based upon it, and then continuing to increase. I will show you the comparison from the start to now. I do know that I am like a little bit less lean, as I say, within the posing room, and also the progress photos themselves. It's not really too vastly different, but I've got a couple more months of bulking. I'm really trying to sort of like commit myself to it and continue to do so. So I am sort of, I was planning on bulking for the whole year, but I'm actually going to Thailand at the end of the year, so I'm going to be cutting down for that. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to let me know. I'm planning on doing videos. My next lot of videos that I'm planning on doing is like how I grew X, Y, or Z. So if there's anything in particular that you want me to go through in terms of like a lagging body part of yours that you want to go through, how I went about growing it, let me know in the comments below. If you're new here, like and subscribe as always. If you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you follow me at Coach Recontrol, because I produce more short form content on there that I think you'll find beneficial. But hopefully you found this useful as always. And any questions or anything like that, give me a shout and subscribe if you're new.